told to look at this. 114.53. Okay, that's close enough.
And consent.
They're just saying,
John,
are animals harmed?
Wait,
so
Not
Wait.
sex. You'd have a concept of consent. I don't understand, like, human beings, as people who enter into social contracts, work with the concept of consent. This is something we work with as human beings that create societies. Consent is a base to that. Animals don't have that within their social structures.
Yeah.
Am I crazy? Like,
no, it's not crazy. So to advance the conversation a little bit.
We moved on. We moved on from consent to harm. That was the issue. They were asking about bestiality. Do we have any measures that bestiality causes harm to the animal specifically?
Of course, but we also have lots of measures that show that eating meat causes harm.
Yeah, Rose is vegan now.
To animals. So if we're ruling out bestiality on the grounds of harm, then we rule out mass manufacturing of meat.
Yep. That's a vegan position. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm a vegan.
Also say society agrees to some level of.
How lovely to hear that. I'm a vegan. It's glorious, isn't it? I love that.
Harm for any.
Obviously, I can take no credit because Rose wrist. No, she just appeals to emotion. Forever salty, hell yeah.
Group and not other degrees of harm, right? Like it's possible that society says we're okay with the harm of mass slaughter, but not okay with the harm of bestiality.
That feels like that's really wild. I would agree. But if you're vegan, you can say both are bad, right? And that's like
exactly.
Really, you were trying to talk?
So, like, why couldn't I say, like, me as a Giga Chad meat eater can fuck horses?
Yeah, you're not Giga Chad, I'm sorry.
You can.
Okay,
yeah, exactly. That's the point.
That's all I wanted to
that's the point.
to. I feel like
I told you, I'm the bestiality person here,
but
pushing it.
But hold on. But the thing is, if you're a vegan,
you heard her. She's the bestiality person. Saying fuck a horse. Yikes.
Right? Then you could be able to object to both, like mass slaughter of animals and animal fucking on the basis of harm and consent, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, I think so
Probably
as well.
not consent, but
I'm
kind of on the sexual thing.
Totally of the opposite position, but I clearly don't know how to explain it.
We've got a big problem because...
Wait, Chud's in this. Oh, Chud is in this. Oh, wait, Chud Logic is here. Oh, he is my next potential victim. And he's been talking veganism, has he? Did he involve himself in this?
Because I am very, I like to keep an eye on what the zoophiles are up to, okay? And the consensus among zoophiles is that animals can consent to sex, and there's non-verbal cues that they give you to suggest that that's true. God. So what do we think about that?
They cannot consent in the same degree that like a human being can.
Same degree.
Well, yeah, exactly.
They're doing a little gesture like jerk me off, but he's not saying someone does it. Is that rape? Like,
this is actually a terrible position from Chad. Just because someone gives you a verbal cue doesn't mean that they have the capacity.
The thing is, it's like
there's almost no consent conceivable, right? Like, have you ever watched animals have sex? For example, when a stallion mounts a mare, there's not a lot of consent. She's usually super mad about it, and he has to bite her to stay on, right? So the idea that like animals are like, I love this and I love sex isn't really real. The difference is that like most zoophiles are like pretty...
Is not, so you're a diet vegan as well?
Tense about like more like passive, I don't know, they get really weird of like, I do passive sex. So
this is going to be really frustrating if Rose is the only vegan here. I'll be very not happy if that is the case.
Peanut butter on their dick, and then they'll like call that having sex with an animal and stuff like that. And so it's like, okay, well, it's the dog consenting. No, it likes peanut butter, right? I could put peanut butter on a piece of shit and the dog would probably eat the shit and the peanut butter because it's a fucking dog. True. Right?
I think for dog slander.
As far as I understand, then, like, so your position is basically that like consent is a good rule for humans, but when it comes to humans and like other things, then we have different reasons for like.
Exactly. So I obviously personally don't support bestiality outside of the memes that we're having on this panel, but I don't.
Are you vegan then?
Support it. I don't use consent as the basis for my entire sexual ethic, and bestiality is a great case study to show its limitations. It's a situation where it's completely inapposite. Cannibalism shows where even if you consent, there are things that we do not allow people to consent to in our society. And necrophilia shows that the harm principle doesn't always work.
I don't think that the bestiality thing frames the consent factor as the only thing, because it's not true consent.
Because who is being harmed when a dead body is being fucked? So these fringe cases are really good ways to demonstrate that sexual ethics has to expand beyond consent, and that trying to base everything in consent will ultimately fail because it is just trying to put a
yeah, even if this is the case, bestiality does not demonstrate that.
Triangle through a circle.
Yeah, it can be like
But what it does demonstrate is that if you are against bestiality, then yeah, you should be vegan.
That fucking little saying is.
It can be like a multi-part thing, right? But then like you could easily say like, yeah, exactly. So but then so would you agree then that a vegan would be the only person that could consistently object to both like animal killing and bestiality and like all these things? Would you say that, or
based?
Rose, can
I mean, well, I think vegans are based.
Okay.
Correct. But the problem is, so good you thinking we're based and whatnot. What about the animals though? They don't benefit from you thinking we're based. They benefit from you not paying for them to be stabbed. So really, it's not about whether or not vegans are based. It's about whether or not animals or have their rights violated. Let's talk about that. Let's be real, shall we?
But I think you can have objections to things within sex without having to be a vegan. Like, you cannot like bestiality.
Yeah, but not like. But okay, but do you think it is possible to form like a moral argument that is consistent, that would like for a non-vegan, that would make both animal farming, that would permit animal farming but make bestiality immoral?
Not if you were trying to base it on consent, no.
Okay, but if you're trying to base it on what?
Harm, no.
Okay.
If you were
yeah, Vegan, DM me, definitely. DM me. Yeah, don't dream it. Don't talk about all these people who are based. Become that. This is like the human embodiment of someone who watches one of these videos where everyone's being like so lovely and they're like, oh, I wish more people would be like this. And it's like, you be like this, okay? You be like this. And then before you know it, more people will be like this.
We're saying based on this, as Erudite said before, if we are looking simply at the social contract and what we have decided as a society creates norms, then yes, you could create a social morality where you said we're willing to accept the harm of farming because we want to eat, but we're not willing to accept the harm of bestiality because we think it's gross and perverted and just for pleasure.
Hold on. I need to ask this question. So then would you say then that if, let's say, society moves in let's say everybody becomes like you, okay, society moves in a pro-bestiality direction generally, yeah, okay? So this general argument no longer applies. Now people feel like they feel okay about bestiality and the same way they feel about like factory farming. Would you then say that it would be moral to engage in both of those behaviors?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Can you say that again?
Yeah,
Sorry.
so because your argument right now,
loves fucking animals.
Yeah, so your argument right now
loves factory farming.
Yeah, your argument right now for why like a non-vegan would be able to say that like bestiality is immoral is because generally society we react really negatively towards that. We don't want that to be part of it, and therefore that's part of like a moral thing because it's gonna make people in society feel really shit about the way that shit's working. So essentially, what I'm saying then is, let's say we have a cultural shift where bestiality becomes like normalized, it becomes okay, it becomes kind of like factory farming. In that society, that argument wouldn't apply anymore. So in that case, you would agree then that you can't make an argument against bestiality, right?
I mean, you can make lots of moral arguments, right? But I'm talking about the socially accepted ethics. So
Chud Logic is awfully quiet. Oh, I wish Chud Logic would speak up because then I can go for him. Oh, my next victim, I'm telling you. I have a feeling about it.
Morals on a public level, no longer on a personal level. So of course you can still make arguments about whatever you want on moral grounds, but once we're getting to what's accepted as ethics on a social level that we all agree about as a group, it gets more difficult.
But I'm asking about you then. Would you be able to...
Oh, well, I don't like bestiality. I don't like factory farming. If you're asking about...
Yeah, okay, well, there's not liking it and then there's directly paying for it to continue. When you literally have so many outs. Like, come on. Like,
my personal morals. I'm not giving you those arguments.
So Rose, are you trying to? I think Rose is trying to ask. I think he's trying to say that the only reason the social contract kind of prohibits bestiality is just like an arbitrary social contract, like handshakes or like manners, basically.
And the point is like if that arbitrary thing, like that general social opinion on bestiality changes, would you no longer be able to mount a moral argument against bestiality? That's essentially my question. Because if you're vegan, you would still be able to.
And you can't use consent.
And you can't use that one. Yeah.
Sorry, it's taken me so long.
Yeah, no worries.
Is this what dating's like in real life for you guys?
Yeah. Yeah.
So because a vegan would still be able to object to that.
Like.
Because a vegan would still be able to object to that.
Roommate? Oh, never mind. Yeah, this is going off on a thing.
Wait, what'd you say, really?
I was just gonna say, would you believe me if I told you I had a roommate who lost a relationship because he wanted to have an incest debate? Check on the first date.
Don't run away from the vegan shit. Poor Rose, having to see in real time people being uncomfortable when veganism is brought up.
Well, they're DGG or something.
Yes, they are. Yes,
I thought that you were meaning like a 6 month relationship. Well, first date is...
See how like everyone gets involved the minute like it's a topic that's not veganism.
Is a
choice. That's Oh my god.
Okay, right. Actually, sorry.
I'm always looking for debates in a first date.
I've just got a quick question, okay? I'll try and, make it really short, because it's quite a long thing, but I'll make it really short. So, imagine you're dating someone for 6 months, you fall in love with them, and then you find out that, like 6 months before you got together, they fucked a dog. Would you continue that relationship, or would they just be smeared for life because of that?
I wouldn't continue that relationship.
Why did they
Okay, no, we're talking about fucking... Okay.
The dog.
Because they were horny and they wanted to fuck a dog.
Oh my god.
Nah, it'd probably be too weird for me. And like, in theory, I shouldn't care that much as long as they're cool or whatever. But like, it'd probably be in the back of my head too much. It'd be weird.
It'd be weird.
So it's weird, but it's not wrong. He's talking about dog fucking, right?
Yeah.
Trying to match up the Fido. Yeah.
Exactly. I can't compete with dog dick, man. I'll tap out.
Oh my god.
About this consent conversation, though,
deeply uncomfortable.
Doesn't this in part depend on like where we get with neuroscience, right?
Okay, yeah, we're done with that. Okay, Rose was based there. Okay, let's give them that. That was pretty based. Hell yeah. Oh, you love to see it. You love to see it.